From the very first second she opened her mouth, you could feel the temperature in the room spike because Nancy Mace didn't walk into that hearing to play politics. She came to detonate the silence. And as she unleashed her rapid fire questions on the sanctuary city mayors, one thing became crystal clear. Nobody was ready for the level of intensity she brought. Answers started cracking, faces tightened, and the entire panel looked like they were bracing for impact. So stay right here because what happens next isn't just political theater, it's a full-scale showdown that exposes far more than anyone on that stage expected.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All of the mayors here today are actively working to harm the American people you represent. You all have blood on your hands. I'm going to ask a series of yes or no questions today, and I would like to remind all of you, you are under oath. I only want a yes or a no to my questions. My first question, do you acknowledge breaking into our country as a crime? Mayor Adams, yes or no? Do you acknowledge breaking into our country as a crime?
I acknowledge.
Yes or no?
I acknowledge.
Okay, Honorable Johnson, he's not going to answer the question. Yes or no? Is breaking into our country against the law? Yes or no?
Depends how you cross the border.
Okay,
Some folks
Mayor
have
Johnson,
status.
yes or no?
Comprehensive immigration
not an
reform
answer.
policies
Mayor
are what's
Wu?
necessary in this
Mayor Wu,
moment.
do you have a better answer than these gentlemen before you? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, do you believe it's acceptable for illegals who commit heinous crimes be released back into the public instead of being detained and deported? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Anyone break a crime.
Yes or no? This is not hard. Yes or no?
Anyone that break a crime should be detained.
Okay, Mayor, yes or no?
They should be deported.
Okay, Mayor.
Any individual that
Yes or
causes
no?
harm
Yes or
and
no?
breaks
Okay,
the
Mayor
law
Wu?
should be held accountable.
This is why you have 6% approval rating, because you suck at answering questions. Mayor Wu? Yes or no?
Anyone who's a public safety threat should be prosecuted.
All right, I have my next question. When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Can we say that question again?
Okay, Mayor Johnston. When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history? Yes or no?
I will charge and prosecute them.
Yes or no? Okay, well, okay. You said you would go to jail, didn't you?
I will
For
charge and
harboring illegal
prosecute
aliens or
anyone.
something, Mayor Johnson?
Could you repeat your question, please?
When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history?
Could you clarify that question?
Okay, Mayor Wu, yes or no?
No, rape is obviously
Then
horrible.
why are you letting rapists back out onto the streets of Boston?
That is not true. That is
Okay.
not what's happening in
When
Boston.
an illegal alien molests a kid, molests an underage kid, do you pat yourself on the back for being compassionate? Mayor Adams?
It's despicable and he should be arrested.
Mayor Johnston?
I prosecute folks that commit crimes like that.
You guys let him out on the streets. Mayor Johnson?
We arrest violent criminals in the city of Chicago.
Mayor Wu?
We investigate, arrest, and prosecute.
You guys don't sound very confident today. Would your city honor an ICE detainer on an illegal alien who rapes kids if one was issued today? Mayor Adams? Yes or no?
In conformance with law, we will honor detainers.
Mayor Johnson?
If there's a criminal warrant, we'll help them pick them up. If there's no criminal warrant, we'll honor a notification request.
Mayor Johnson?
Criminal warrants, we always cooperate with federal agents with a criminal warrant.
Mayor Wu?
Get a criminal warrant, we will enforce.
A criminal warrant. I'm talking about an ICE detainer on an individual who's here illegal who rapes kids. Do you all hate Donald Trump more than you love your country? Mayor Adams?
I respect my president. I respect my
Yes or
country,
no?
and I
You're having the
respect
hardest time
my
today.
Senate.
Mayor Johnston?
I love my country.
Yes or no?
I love my
Okay.
country.
Mayor Johnson?
As the son of a pastor, I love everyone and this country.
Mayor Wu?
I love my country and my city.
Do you all, are you all willing to go to jail for violating federal law? Mayor Adams?
I'm not going to violate federal law, so I don't have to worry about that.
Mayor Johnston?
We don't violate federal law either.
You don't violate federal law.
We do not violate federal law.
Is it violating federal law if you don't honor detainer requests from ICE?
Absolutely not. In fact, the statute Congressman Biggs shared, we explicitly follow. The statute says you cannot prohibit city employees from sharing information about someone's status with the government. We do not prohibit that.
Do you love illegal aliens more than you love your fellow countrymen?
I love all the residents of the city and county.
Mayor Johnston, are you willing to go to jail for violating federal law?
The city of Chicago complies with all laws.
Oh, I highly doubt that. Mayor Wu?
We are not violating federal law.
Mayor Wu, I have a last couple questions for you. Do you believe that ICE arresting a child rapist, quote, threatens everyone's safety, end quote? Yes or no?
No.
The moment Nancy Mace leaned forward, the entire chamber felt as if someone had quietly locked the doors and turned up the pressure. There was no warm-up, no soft entry, no political courtesy, just that piercing, unblinking stare like a spotlight cutting through darkness, and on the other side sat the sanctuary city mayors who suddenly realized they were not stepping into a normal hearing, they were stepping into an interrogation. The air seemed to tighten as she drew in a slow breath, and by the time she fired her first question, it felt like the detonator had already been pressed. Her tone didn't need anger, the precision alone carried the force. It was the kind of moment where even those watching from miles away could feel their attention snap into place because something in her posture, in her cadence, told you instantly this was going to be a confrontation worth remembering. What made her rapid-fire approach so jarring was the contrast between calm delivery and explosive effect. She didn't speak fast because she was rushed. She spoke fast because she was in control, because she had done the homework, traced the gaps, memorized the contradictions, and now she was stepping into the room like someone exposing structural weaknesses with every question. The mayors tried to maintain composure at first, offering practice smiles, shifting their weight just enough to appear confident. But their eyes told a different story, eyes that flicked down to their notes a bit too quickly, eyes that glanced sideways at aides who couldn't intervene, eyes that widened slightly when they realized her questions weren't about headlines, but about specifics they weren't prepared to defend. In a matter of seconds, she shifted the entire tone of the hearing from discussion to dissection. And then the unraveling began. One mayor attempted to dodge with broad philosophical language words like community, vision, inclusive policy, but Mace cut straight through the fog, pushing for numbers, timelines, accountability. Another tried to pivot the topic entirely, hoping to dilute the pressure, but she brought it right back to the center, her voice steady, her timing sharp, her focus unwavering. The brilliance wasn't just in what she asked, but how she listened. Every hesitation became a clue. Every overly polished phrase became a target. Every inconsistent detail became a doorway she would shove open without hesitation. You could almost map the psychological trajectory. First, confidence, then confusion, then the slow, quiet realization that the usual political escape hatches were gone. From the outside, it almost looked like a chess match being forced into fast forward. Leaders accustomed to long-winded answers and protected narratives were suddenly being asked to operate at a pace where instinct mattered more than preparation. And instinct reveals everything. Some responded with visible discomfort hands, fidgeting, breaths shortening, shoulders inching forward as if getting smaller would soften the blow. Others tried to maintain rhetorical elegance but stumbled when pushed into the concrete reality behind their policies. It became increasingly clear that the mayors were not struggling with the questions themselves, but with the pressure of having their reasoning tested under an unrelenting spotlight. And that's exactly why Mace's approach hit so hard. It forced authenticity. It forced vulnerability. It forced clarity where ambiguity used to live comfortably. But the intensity of the exchange wasn't just about confrontation, it was also a rare window into the machinery of political leadership. Sanctuary city policies, often defended with broad ideals and moral framing, suddenly revealed the complications buried underneath. Questions about resources, safety, responsibility, and realistic capacity, questions that linger in public debates, were now being asked at a pace that left no room for vague reassurances. The mayors tried to reclaim ground, but each attempt exposed something deeper. That the policies many champion in speeches may not hold the same confidence when scrutinized under fire. And this contrast, the public narrative versus the pressured truth, is what made the tension so electrifying. The chamber wasn't just a room anymore, it was a spotlight, and under that spotlight, sincerity and uncertainty stood side by side, impossible to hide. As the confrontation escalated, Mace didn't waver for a second. Her questions grew sharper, her tone steadier, her momentum stronger. She wasn't hunting for a soundbite, she was hunting for clarity. And the audience watching could feel it, the difference between political performance and principled interrogation. The more the mayors attempted to retreat into abstractions, the deeper she pushed into specifics, and with every step, the distance between official narrative and practical reality grew more visible. You could see the frustration building on their faces, not because she was unfair, but because she was precise. She wasn't accepting half answers, and she wasn't giving them time to craft safer ones. In those final moments, the hearing felt less like a meeting and more like a pressure chamber, revealing what leaders are truly made of. Were these officials standing firm on what they believed, or were they struggling to defend what had always been politically convenient? Were they confident in their decisions, or were they hoping no one would test the foundations? Watching their reactions, the tightening jaws, the sidelong glances, the shrinking sentences, you could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down harder than the questions themselves. Because leadership under pressure isn't about perfect phrasing, it's about conviction. And conviction either stands tall or collapses when challenged. And that's the part that lingers long after the last question ends. This wasn't a debate about ideology alone, it was a test of readiness, integrity, and courage under scrutiny. Nancy Mace didn't just question these mayors. She exposed the distance between prepared answers and real accountability. And that's why moments like this matter. Not because they create political noise, but because they cut through it. They force us to look at the people who shape policy and ask the real, uncomfortable questions. If this is how they respond when confronted publicly, what happens behind the scenes when the pressure is greater and no one is watching? If this is how their confidence cracks in minutes, what does that say about the stability of the policies they defend for years? And if truth only emerges when someone like Mace pushes this hard, what truth is still waiting to be revealed? Those questions are why this exchange was unforgettable. And that is exactly why, trust me, you absolutely can't miss this.